The facility I go on campus from time to time, and I worked out with him when he was a true freshman. This is when Calvin Ridley and some of the other guys, Jeudy, they were on. They were still in college. I think this junior, senior year, and they wanted me to run routes. And so they were trying to get Jalen to come out there. They was like, man, teach us some stuff, blah, 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 blah. They couldn't find Jalen anywhere. So they was like, man, it's like, we just got a hold of Tua. And I was like, who? They said, yo, bro, they said he's the real deal. They said, honestly, they said if Jalen wasn't here, he would be our starting quarterback right now.
I posted a video a few days ago about all the hate for Tua Tagovailoa. I think I said it right that time. Most of it seemed to come from people who are either fans of other teams or they haven't actually seen Tua play. So I sought to find opinions from some real authorities of the game. What would you think of Tua if a Hall of Fame wide receiver told you the straight scoop? Take a listen here to what Terrell Owens, Hall of Fame wide receiver, has to say about Tua. It's in stark contrast to all the BS hate that you see about Tua. Check this out.
He's got a lot of talent. He's a good guy in the locker room. He works hard. You know, he's got an arm on him.
Oh, I already know. I told you before you sat down. I worked out I'm from Alabama. I go to the facility I go on campus from time to time, and I worked out with him when he was a true freshman. This is when Calvin Ridley and some of the other guys, Jeudy, they were on. They were still in college. I think this junior, senior year, and they wanted me to run routes. And so they were trying to get Jalen to come out there. They was like, man, teach us some stuff, blah, 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 blah. They couldn't find Jalen anywhere. So they was like, man, it's like, we just got a hold of Tua. And I was like, who? They said, yo, bro, they said he's the real deal. They said, honestly, they said if Jalen wasn't here, he would be our starting quarterback right now. I'm like, what? I said, as a true freshman? They was like, bro, just watch.
Right.
Bro, he came out there, dude. We was out there for about an hour and a half. Bro, he didn't miss a route. I corrected one adjustment, and that was on the bang 8, because when I ran on the bang 8, it's your 4th outside step. You know, that ball should be already gone as a quarterback. I mean, he doesn't play quarterback. You know, he throws
I know quarterback.
But he knows, you know what I mean? He already knows, too. Like, on that 4th outside step on a bang 8, that ball should be halfway to you or right there in your hands.
Right.
And when I came out, I saw him throw it, and it was a little behind. And I said, Tua, I shouldn't see you throw that ball. That was the only correction I made. Ran that route again. Dude, I've never seen, as a true freshman, but I've never seen anything like it.
So what will the haters say about that? T.O. has no reason whatsoever to carry any water for Tua. Are you telling me that the Tua haters on Twitter know better than a Hall of Famer? Sorry, I don't think so. And then there's this Sun Sentinel writer and frequent guest on the I Am Athlete podcast named Omar Kelly. I follow him on Twitter, I read what he writes, and he recently wrote this on Twitter. I know what you folks are here for. Tua's arm has made some noticeable improvement. It's not drastic, but it's noticeable, especially in passes over the middle of the field. Before you discount what Omar said, you should know he hasn't been the biggest Tua fan. But as a sports writer specifically writing about the Miami Dolphins, he covers them daily, he talks to the players, he talks to the coaches, and more importantly, he sees what's going on at practice. And even he had to admit that Tua's arm is looking stronger. But I don't think that's what it is at all. Look at what this tweet says, and I think you're going to see a key as to what really was going on with Tua. You mean he's finally healthy and back to Tuscaloosa Tua? No way. It's almost like he had a catastrophic injury that hampered his core and ability to generate torque on throws in a sport where he plays a position that requires that exact thing. Who knew? I loved what this guy's comment said. He spoke directly to what I said in my last video. We're seeing a healthy Tua now that's throwing like he did when he was back at Alabama. He's throwing like he did when Terrell Owens was working out with him. That's the Tua we're seeing right now. You're going to see a different player this year. Count on it. Then recently, Pat McAfee talked about the Tua situation, and he had this to say.
How come nobody's like, this is going to be an electrifying new duo for at least the next 3 years? How come nobody's talking about the AFC East having the fastest on earth at wide receiver down in Miami with an offensive guru at head coach who turned around every single offense he's ever been a part of. How come nobody's talking about that? They're just talking about his own. Well, that's because that's what Twitter is. This isn't the first time that Tyreek has had to stop for the quarterback throwing him the football, probably throughout his entire life.
Why do you think Tua is such a punching bag on the Twitter machine? Why do people not like?
Because the way it has all went down.
Okay.
His relationship with the Dolphins, wild. Absolutely wild. Could have never projected a top 5 draft pick at quarterback position to be treated the way he was treated in Miami. Now, with the allegations of what's going on behind closed doors allegedly for the last few years in Miami happening, that would make sense because you get this guy and you basically just put him through a mental hell. Everything that has happened has been just like more ingredients to the recipe of like a cluster. But if people don't like to, all those cluster they can just say are his fault. He wasn't hurt, so he's missing games. He's softer than anybody. It was like, well, it turns out he was hurt, and then it turns out that maybe something other shit was going on behind the scenes. So I just think there's been a lot of situations that add to to his trash camp that I don't think is right, by the way. I don't think we have a clue whether or not this guy is good or not. I think he's been given next to no chance in Miami, personally.
It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. The guy had a rocket for an arm at Alabama, and in between Alabama and Miami, something happened. He had a really bad injury. Now he's got that torque back, and he's firing the ball.
I just feel like football is all about confidence, and I'm very confident in my quarterback, so I just feel like, if I'm able to, like, help him get all the confidence in the world and push other guys to push that confidence into him, then the sky's the limit for the guy, because he's a heck of a talent, has crazy arm strength, arm talent, so like I said, man, we're all excited, just to watch him sling the ball each and every day.
Maybe in about 5 or 6 months, if things don't go as planned, I'll change my mind. But right now, I just think the Tua hate is about something else. I'm going to let you figure that one out. Hey, I posted a video recently on Tua. It's right here if you want to check it out. I'm going to be talking about him throughout the summer and going into preseason camp and, of course, during the season. So go ahead and subscribe so you won't miss any of my videos on Tua and the rest of the Miami Dolphins. Talk to you soon.